Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Bob, that's some awesome information. Your ability to kind of make it understandable for the non-technical was extremely helpful to myself to understand that. I got a couple questions. One, I guess, where did you come up with the name Mist?
Well, there's various versions of that story. Brett Galloway and I founded the company, I think back in June of 2014. And I think it was like, you think about cloud, so Mist is like cloud grounded in reality. That was kind of the original thesis of cloud, Mist, grounded in reality, kind of the.
Very cool. What about Marvis?
Oh, now that one you should know. Okay, Kirk must know this one. Marvis.
Now you got me on the spot here, just thinking. I know it's one of those guys from the start, one of the high tech shows, right? Marvis was the guy that talked, or is that?
You ever never watch Iron Man?
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
So who is the AI assistants for Iron Man?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I knew. I knew that was the story. I just couldn't remember all the right characters.
Yeah, I should have got that one.
Yeah, the more funny thing about that is, if you actually watch, I forget what episode it is, they actually called, I think the AI system was named Friday in one of them.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah. Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, J.A.R.V.I.S, that was kind of like, hey, we're going to build an AI assistant on par with Jarvis.
So I think there was a detective called Joe Friday too, wasn't there, on one of the shows?
Yeah.
Kind of all plays together.
We can start with.
I know we can jump around, but I just thought of one thing. I guess if you wanted to comment at all about domain-specific artificial intelligence, and maybe where that could play into the big picture of artificial intelligence across the whole enterprise, where do you see that general purpose AI versus domain-specific? How do you see that evolving over the next 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, people usually refer to this as general purpose AI. This is kind of the vision of, do we really, how far away are we from the Terminator version of AI, where you have AI that can answer general questions of any sort, type of thing. And that was kind of like, if you look at Jeopardy and Jeopardy and Watson, right? That was kind of an open-ended question, right? Watson had to answer questions from every possible category.
Right.
To that extent, they've done it, right? I mean, there's examples where Watson was built to answer questions from a very wide category of stuff. Now that's usually, when people think about, general AI, when do we get to a real intelligence that can answer questions about finance, healthcare, IT, anything like that? That's kind of the sci-fi 100 years. When do we get to that tipping point of, when do we have intelligence that is, on par with human? That's kind of the bigger question.
Yeah, do you end up like with the manager of managers in IT though, or because people might have AI for their applications, AI for like their network stuff, and how does that all integrate together? I guess as part of the bigger picture.
I don't know if there's going to be one big AI to rule them all. I mean, I think we're going to see AI, for the foreseeable future, we're going to see AI involved in different verticals, right? We're going to see AI for healthcare. We're going to see AI get to the point where, it can basically do diagnosis on par better than your doctor. I think we're going to see AI, for self-driving cars. I mean, I see the day when it'll be illegal to drive, right?
Sure.
We'll get to the point where, hey, these self-driving cars have a better safety record. What do you do then? What do you do when all of a sudden, your car can drive better? So, you almost don't want people driving anymore, right? It's like, I don't want you to kill anyone. So I do see, even in IT networking, where the AI gets better, like the bad cable, right? The AI assistants probably can find bad cables faster and better than any human could ever go through and find a bad cable in your network.
Exactly.
So I think that's how I see AI evolving over the next couple of years, right? It's going to be, domain specific. I think people talk about the, Terminator. When do we get that day? I mean, people actually think that day is coming. There will be a day when, AI gets to the point where it is on par with the human in terms of solving generic problems.